Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Today it's really rainy, cold, windy. It's 10 degrees. I've got a sweater on and I'm still cold. Um, so it's not a day to go outside. So I'm going to be reading you a poem today that I found when I was in my 20s. So that was back in the 80s, early 80s. I found this poem and it really hit my heart. It's a very inspirational, very touching poem that was written. And at the end, when I'm done reading the poem, I will give you a background of the author. It is on public domain, which means it's no longer under copyright. So we are allowed to, use it. It's called Desiderata, and I'm going to read it to you. My reading is not that good. I'm used to reading in my head, so forgive me if I goof up. Okay, so the poem is Desiderata. It says, "Go placidly among the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak the truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even the dull and the ignorant, they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons, they are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength and spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its shame, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful, strive to be happy." Max Ehrmann, 1927. So Max Ehrmann wrote this poem back in the early 20s, and he got it copyrighted in 1927. He was the youngest of 5 children, born in Terre Haute, Indiana, in the United States. He was born in 1872 and died in 1945. When he died, he was just 2 or 3 or 4 weeks short of being 73. He studied to be a lawyer. He was a lawyer for many years. Then he went to work in his family's business. And after 10 years of being in the business world, he retired so he could devote all his time to his literary works. He had a deep and abiding concern over social issues, which are reflected throughout his many works. He searched endlessly for spiritual contentment, often turning to nature in his poems. So he loved nature. And for the copyright, I guess the rules in the States is that once the author has died, it's 77 years, and then it becomes public domain. In Canada, I looked it up because I'm in Canada. It's before the end of last year, December 2022. It was 50 years after they pass away. The end of last year, it was changed to 70 years. So by those rules, it is in public domain now. It is no longer under copyright. But when I was doing this research, because I don't want to get dinged for copyright, I did a bunch of research and I found out that actually he gave up the copyright back in 1933. So he published the poem in 1927, and in 1933, he printed up Christmas cards, or not printed up, I guess he wrote Christmas cards, and he sent them out to people. On the Christmas card, he put this poem, but he did not put any copyright notice attached to it. And there was a gentleman who was a practicing psychiatrist in the U.S. Army. So Max Ehrmann got a letter from this psychiatrist, Merrill Moore, dated July 20th, 1942. So he sent out these Christmas cards in 1933, and he got two letters back that is still is recorded. One of them was the one in 1942 from this psychiatrist, and he thanks Max Ehrmann for the poem, that he uses it in his practice, and he would like to, where is it? He writes, I have distributed the beautiful copies which you sent me and want to thank you for them again. I know that I shall carry Desiderata with me, and when I get there, I shall have it multigraphed for distribution to the soldiers if you have no objection. And then in November 1942, Max Ehrmann replies, yes, of course, you may distribute multigraphic copies of the Desiderata to the soldiers. I am happy to have at least this small part in your splendid work. So that all happened without copyright notice. So technically, according to the courts in Indiana, United States, that action made it no longer under copyright. So whichever rule you go by, it's free and clear. Back in the 80s, when I first saw this, on the poster, it had the poem, and then on the bottom, where do I have it here? It said, Old St. Paul's Church, 1692. And it was on this like onion skin paper, a big poster I had gotten. And it was beautiful. And I had it up on my wall for a while. And then after one or two moves, I ended up having to get rid of it. It was all ripped and torn because of the type of paper it was. Anyways, so back in the 80s, we believe that it was found in the church, St. Paul's Church, in 1692, and that the poem was that old. Well, that was what I assumed back in the 80s. About 10 years ago, yeah, I'd say about 10 years, I looked it up because, of course, now we have internet. And I found out that wasn't true, and that it was Max Ehrmann who is the original author, and he wrote it in the early 1920s. Also in Max Ehrmann's diary, they found that he wrote in his diary that he has left a gift to the world. That gift being the poem. Isn't it a beautiful poem? I just think it brings tears to my eyes. Like, it's so touching. Such a beautiful poem. So there you go. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I've been thinking about it for the past probably couple of months now, but I've never had the moment to share it. And considering the horrible weather, I figure, hey, it's a perfect time to do this. So let me know what you think of the poem. I think it's beautiful. I would like to get a professionally printed version of it and put it in a frame and hang it on the wall. One day I will. All right then. So I guess I'll let you go. That's what I wanted to share with you today. And yes, my sewing is still on the dining room table. Probably Friday we'll do that video. And then Monday we'll do a garden tour. Hopefully I'll be finished and this weather will be better. All right then. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And remember, do what makes you happy and everything else will fall into place. All right. Take care. See you again soon.